Maybe you don't realize it, but consciously or unconsciously, words spoken without thinking reveal information we should keep secret. These words, when shared thoughtlessly, can end up causing sadness and conflict in our lives, leading us to regret not keeping that information to ourselves. In my own experience, I've made the mistake of sharing too much of my life with everyone, and that's why the Buddhist story I'll share today highlights 7 things that should never be revealed to anyone. As you listen to this narrative, you'll understand these 7 things that are better kept secret, and I'll also explain the reasoning behind this advice. In ancient times, there was a young man named David who lived in a city. He faced serious financial difficulties, struggling to secure even a simple meal. Despite dedicating his days and nights to finding a job, he couldn't find any opportunities. One day, he shared all his worries with his wife, expressing his frustration that no matter where he sought help, no one was willing to assist him. Everyone claimed there was no need for help in that place. Exhausted from his fruitless search, David was thinking about how he could provide proper food for his children. His wife, hearing this, thought for a moment and advised, "You ask for help in one place once. If you don't receive it, try again a second time. If still no help comes, then you need to appeal to compassion. You'll have to openly share your financial situation so that they understand the difficulties you're facing. People often underestimate your situation, thinking they understand your struggles. So don't feel ashamed. Explain your reality to them. Share your financial difficulties, and that way you might get assistance." These words stayed in David's mind, and the next day he returned to the same place where he had previously sought help. However, this time he approached the merchant, joined his hands, and humbly begged for a job opportunity. David explained his extreme need, emphasizing that he would be grateful for any opportunity they could offer. Moved by his situation, the merchant decided to hire him in his shop, and David began working there daily. Though happy to have secured a job, he noticed that his salary was lower than that of other workers. When he mentioned this to his employer, the merchant responded, "Look, friend, you needed work, and I gave you this opportunity. Instead of expressing gratitude, you're complaining. What kind of ungrateful person are you?" With this reprimand, David fell silent. In truth, the merchant's words held some truth. He had agreed to help by paying a wage based on his own assessment. However, gradually, David began sharing this information with his relatives and friends, revealing details about his employer and the amount he was earning. As time passed, David continued to perform his duties diligently, but the circumstances did not change. This affected David's self-esteem, as he worked harder than his colleagues and received less in return. This disparity had a profound impact on his confidence, which gradually diminished. He couldn't accept the idea of staying in a place where his self-worth was compromised, so he decided to leave the job and return home, feeling helpless. Now, without enough resources for household expenses, he shared his decision with his family and turned to his friends for help. But they acted as if they understood his situation, offering him words of comfort, yet secretly mocked him, ridiculing how naive he was to accept so little from his employer. This made David's situation worse each day, and now he lived in constant tension, both day and night. The same friends and relatives who showed sympathy to him actually felt sorry for him. Everyone came to give advice, but no one offered practical help. One day, David learned that a very wise monk lived in the nearby village. Feeling tense and seeing no solution, he sought out the monk. Upon arriving, he began to cry, sharing his concerns about how his boss exploited him and the treatment he received from his family. The monk, listening silently, finally spoke, "All these situations are human creations and temporary. They come and go. Learn to maintain calm and balance regardless of the circumstances. Be strong, because this too shall pass." The problems arose from your own lack of discernment and foolishness. If you had more wisdom, none of this would affect your mind. However, due to foolishness and stubbornness, you scattered thorns in your own path. Today, I share with you things you should never reveal to anyone. By following these guidelines, you can avoid unnecessary pain imposed by the world without reason. Firstly, never reveal your true situation to anyone. Avoid creating an appeal letter exposing your difficulties and seeking help. While people may help today upon seeing your distress, tomorrow they might even exploit your situation. If you don't want to be the constant butt of jokes. Avoid showing your needs publicly. If at home you have only the essentials: food to satisfy hunger and a bed to rest, just eat and sleep without drawing attention to it. Think for a moment, what is the purpose of sharing your difficulties with someone? Generally, people seek empathy or help. However, by keeping these situations private, you prevent others from taking advantage of you. If a person doesn't take advantage, they may still see you as foolish and stupid, mocking you in front of others. Therefore, it's better not to share your hardships. The second thing that should never be revealed is past mistakes and future plans. Reflect on this. When we share our past mistakes with someone, what is the real impact? Can those mistakes be corrected by being exposed? Of course not. Revealing such details serves no valid purpose. By exposing your faults to the world, you highlight your negative aspects to others. Sharing your errors forms an image of compromised character, and this perception can persist into the future. So avoid letting others shape their view of your character. Think carefully about why you are revealing your future strategies to the world, especially to those outside your circle of trust. They might not be genuinely interested in helping, but could use your future strategies for their own advantage. Keep your future plans private and reflect if you are revealing them unnecessarily to those who don't have a genuine interest in your life. Apply your own discernment and remember, have you ever shared your future strategy with someone and it didn't come to fruition? Certainly, this must have happened at some point. The third thing not to be shared is domestic matters. Conversations that occur within your home, whether with your parents, spouse, or children, should remain private within the family. By exposing these to others, you give them the opportunity to invade your privacy. And they might exploit this to the fullest. They could even try to create divisions within your family. This is often seen in society where people strive to resolve internal disputes privately to prevent others from taking advantage. Revealing family disagreements to neighbors or relatives won't. Bring help instead. It can intensify conflicts at home, making them more severe. Sharing your parents' problems with outsiders might hurt them, as they may feel their child is revealing things without informing them. Therefore, avoid exposing internal family issues to others. Now, the next thing I'm about to mention might seem peculiar, but I'll present it logically. I suggest not revealing your income to anyone. Consider that if you share your income with friends, they may only remember you when they need help. This happens because they know that if your income is good, you're the person who can help them. Consequently, more people may come to you for help, and if you refuse, they'll think, this man has money and can help me but is refusing thus. Your income could become a source of conflict among friends. If the income is low, people might mock you. If it's high, they'll ask for help. Therefore, there is no reason to disclose your income. The next thing I want to highlight is to keep your personal matters to yourself and not share them with anyone. Your weaknesses and strengths. Often, people aren't aware of their own weaknesses and strengths. Knowing your weaknesses and strengths is a sign of intelligence. However, it's not necessary to share this information with anyone. If your weaknesses are known, others might exploit them, and if your strengths are revealed, they could become weaknesses, as those who know your strength may seek to undermine it. It's not advisable to share these details even with your spouse, as this could create pressure at home. Another aspect no one should reveal is talking about your friends and enemies. By telling others about your friends, you make them vulnerable to manipulation, becoming potential victims. They might try to distance your closest friends from you, something that an average person doesn't usually do. But your enemies might use this strategy. Moreover, no one should know who your enemy is. This is because your friend today could become your enemy tomorrow and conspire with your enemy to defeat you, betraying and deceiving you. Therefore, avoid telling your best friends about your enemies. Lastly, I want to emphasize that when you're involved in any activity, avoid publicizing it to others. If you talk about what you're doing, it could become futile. It's more beneficial to carry out your actions discreetly, especially when acting in secret. When you do something with your left hand, the right hand should not be aware of this movement. These 7 statements shared by a Buddhist monk hold all the essential principles. Did you identify with the principles spoken in this story? Can I ask you a favor? Write in the comments what you felt listening to everything that was said here. By following these guidelines, you can cultivate joy and tranquility at home, eliminating family conflicts. Thank you for watching, my friend. If you enjoyed, please subscribe to the channel.